This was definitely not a video that I was looking forward to making. A week ago, my baby boy, he passed away. Um, we had to euthanize him, and it was tough watching him suffer, watching his health decline so fast. And it was frustrating leading up to that because he was doing fine, he was good, and out of nowhere, his sickness kicked in and his health started declining really fast. We took him to the vets, my ex and I, and gave him some meds. He started doing real good for like 3-4 days while they were doing, blood work and, other tests on him. Couldn't figure out what was wrong, and all of a sudden his health just started declining after a few days, really, really fast. We took him to the vet again, let him stay there overnight, different vets this time. And again, more blood work, x-rays, ultrasounds, and they said, everything looks pretty good. Like, still can't really figure out what's going on, yada, yada, yada. And that Monday morning when the vet called me to update me with the results of the ultrasound and everything, they were hoping it was a disease called Addison's disease. And they said if it is, it's a very curable disease. That wasn't the case. It's been fucking tough. Picked him up that Monday. I watched him kind of struggle to get in to the car. Brought him home. Did not want to eat, and at that point he had already stopped eating like 3 or 4 days prior. So he was going on his fifth day without eating. And, we had a few close people come over, family and friends, so they could see him, say goodbye, because, we knew that we were going to have to lay him to rest on that Tuesday morning. And it's crazy how special he was. It was probably 5 to 7 of us sitting in the living room, and he's just laying there. And as much as he struggled to get up and to walk, he got up, and he literally went to every single person in that room, one by one, as if he was saying goodbye. He walked over to one, they petted him, he walked over to the other person, and he made his rounds and laid back down on the living room floor. And for me, that's just insane, to be on his deathbed and still to have that much love and strength just to say goodbye to people when he didn't have to do that. We stayed up all night. His last 24 hours, could not sleep, and would, give him water, whatever he needed. He'd get up and be uncomfortable and walk around a little bit, but so disoriented. Nothing like I've ever seen him, because he's so full of life, so full of joy, so full of happiness. All he wants to do is play. That's all he wants to do, just eat and play. And the two things that he loved doing, he didn't want to do them anymore, and that broke my heart. I've been through a lot of death in my life. A lot of people that I love, a lot of family members, a lot of friends, a lot of violent death. And this has been the hardest death that I've had to deal with. Just because his love was so unconditional. Doesn't matter what I said, doesn't matter what I did, doesn't matter who I am, whatever mistakes that I make, he would always, always, always just have nothing but love. And to come home, I don't even like to leave my house, because when I leave and I come back and I open the door, I don't see his face. I don't see him looking at me. When people ring the doorbell, he's not barking anymore. It's just so fucking quiet. Now, we have our routine, you know. I literally have to get out of bed. I could lay in there all day if I wanted to, but I can't. I'd have to get up and make sure my baby boy uses the bathroom, make sure he eats, make sure we play. Now the routine's gone. Walking down the stairs and seeing him run down the stairs, seeing him ring the little bell in the kitchen so we can go outside. Sometimes he'd go outside, and after he'd done using the bathroom, he'd sit, in the backyard and just sunbathe, just look around and smell the air and, all these little characteristics that made him who he is. I miss every single one of them. I miss him coming up to me right now. If I was recording this and he was still here, he'd be right here, or he'd be right over there and, part of my office and laying on his bed, feeding him carrots, his little ice cream trees, like all kinds of things that he loved. And I know it sounds crazy. I know some of y'all are like, oh, it's just a dog, it's just a pet, but he was so much more to me than that. I used to kind of laugh at people that did the dog birthdays before I had them. You guys are doing too much. And I was tough on him in the very beginning. And the older he grew, the older I grew, I realized how important he is, how much love he has, and how much I fucking loved him. And he was never a pet to me. He was never just a dog to me. He was everything to me. Through my depression, through my breakup, through losing my job, through losing people in my life, through me having bad days, he was always there when nobody else was. I can come home and he'd always be there waiting. I wake up, he's always there waiting. Him and I, we had such a special bond, and he got me through a lot in life that I didn't realize over this past year and a half. And, during this past year and a half, I just loved him so much more than I can explain, more than I can show him. I'd hug him every chance I got, tell him how much I love him, kissed him on his little furry face, even though he ain't like it. But that's my baby boy. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'd do anything for him. If I could bring him back, I'd bring him back. And tonight was a special night. We got his ashes. I haven't put his picture in there yet, but I don't know if you guys can see. But we got his ashes, and I'm gonna have his picture right here. So, I got him here with me, which kind of gives me a little bit of peace and comfort. We got his little paw print, on his some of his fur. So, these are things that they're tangible. They're a part of him, and it's something I think that'll bring me a little bit of peace and comfort, because I talk to him throughout the day. I talk to him when I leave. I talk to him when I come back in the house, and I don't care if it sounds crazy. That's my baby boy, and I love him to death. So this was something we got printed out too as well. Big picture of him. One of the last pictures that I took of him, and I'm gonna get it framed and put it here in my office so that he's always here with me. But I feel so lost. I feel so broken inside. And I appreciate, those of you that have reached out. I've seen the messages, the text messages, the calls, and I'm getting my strength back. It just, my life isn't the same, and I don't think it ever will be. Everybody has a different way of grieving. Everybody has a different process of healing, and again, I've dealt with death many, many times, but this is just different. It's completely different. And if you haven't gone through it, if you haven't been alone in your house, with just you and your pet and dog, baby, son, whatever, and now he's gone, and now you come home to an empty house, you come home to a silent house, you wake up to silence, it's a different feeling. It hits different. And he's just so special, so special. I thank you guys for, again, reaching out and the love and the support. And I'm just taking it one day at a time.